In the neon-drenched streets of Sydney, where the harbour lights flickered like uneasy whispers, a shadow loomed over the nation. It was early 2026, and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese sat in the dimly lit war room of Parliament House, his face etched with the weight of secrets. The air was thick with tension. Economic storms brewing, a terror scar still raw from the Bondi Beach massacre, and an invisible web of global forces pulling at Australia's fragile threads. But was Albanese the guardian or the puppet? It started with the economy, a slow poison seeping through the veins of the sunburnt country. Inflation clawed at families, housing dreams shattered like glass underfoot, wages frozen while costs soared. Albanese promised relief, tax cuts, energy rebates, but the whispers on X grew louder. He's sabotaging us. Critics pointed to his government's missteps. Billions funneled into housing funds that ballooned in chaos, jobs vanishing in CSIRO cuts, a nation divided between the elite and the everyday. Suburban voters, once his backbone in the 2022 and 2025 landslides, now seethed in quiet rage. Was this incompetence, or a deliberate unravelling orchestrated from afar? Then came Bondi, a blood-soaked Hanukkah nightmare in December 2025. A lone gunman, radicalized shadows in his wake, turned a festive gathering into a slaughter. 6 dead, a nation in shock. Albanese vowed action, gun buybacks, crackdowns on hate preachers. But his refusal to call a federal royal commission ignited fury. Victims' families begged, Jewish leaders demanded truth. Even Netanyahu's voice thundered from afar, accusing Albanese of fanning anti-Semitism's flames. On X, the storm raged. False flag, they cried. Cover up to hide foreign hands. Was it a distraction from deeper failures, or part of a globalist plot to silence dissent? Albanese's tone-deaf responses, shifting blame to far-right ghosts while dodging scrutiny, fueled the fire. Opposition leader Susan Lay's pleas fell on deaf ears, and the nation wondered, who was he protecting? Beneath it all lurked the conspiracies, coiling like serpents in the outback dust. Albanese, the theorists hissed, was no leader. He was a marionette, strings tugged by the World Economic Forum and the elusive New World Order. His Davos pilgrimages, handshakes with Klaus Schwab, these weren't diplomacy, they were oaths of allegiance. Policies like digital IDs for kids under 16, climate targets choking industry, AUKUS pacts binding Australia to US whims, all seen as steps toward enslavement. X threads exploded. Great reset in action. Fake tweets of Schwab's congratulations circulated like wildfire, claims of billions funneled to WEF agendas. Albanese's background, steeped in Labour's socialist roots, became proof of Marxist infiltration. His economic sabotage, a controlled demolition to pave the way for one world governance. And Bondi? A staged horror to justify hate laws, suppressing voices that dared question the elite's grip. Yet, the greatest shadow fell from across the Pacific, the United States. Albanese's alliance with America was ironclad on paper. Ausman talks glowing, AUKUS subs forging ahead. But under Trump, it cracked. Tariffs loomed like storm clouds, demands for defense spending hikes echoed like ultimatums. And Venezuela, Trump's brazen raid on Maduro, oil grabs announced like conquests, sent chills through Canberra. Albanese urged diplomacy, monitoring from afar, but critics screamed betrayal, sucking up to imperialists. X raged with accusations of Albanese bending over to Trump, his cordial balancing act with China a facade for deeper NWO ties. Was Australia a sovereign nation, or a pawn in a superpower chess game, with Albanese as the willing rook? As 2026 dawned, the nation's future hung in suspense. Optimists dreamed of a Made in Australia revival, clean energy jobs blooming in the Pilbara, alliances shielding against Chinese shadows. But the pessimists saw division, wealth gaps yawning like chasms, suburban revolt brewing, global volatility, US-China AI wars, Middle East flares, dragging Australia into the abyss. Conspiracists warned of total collapse. WEF enforcers tightening the noose. Albanese's weakness, the final betrayal. Internal Labor fractures simmered, a spill whispered in corridors. Would Albanese rally or fall? In the quiet before the storm, Australia held its breath, teetering on the edge of prosperity or peril. The shadows deepened, and the question lingered: who truly held the reins? Need a discreet way to track your valuables? Check out Pinpoint Cards, ultra-slim GPS wallet trackers the size of a credit card. Real-time location, long battery life, perfect for wallets, keys, or bags. Never lose what matters again. www.pinpointcards.com. Secure your stuff today.